later, they can jump in on their own and join us then. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Kate, and I am a guide with Trek Travel, and I'll be your host this evening for this marquee hiking and walking event. And I'm joined by my co-guide, Anna, who will be sharing more about several trip spotlights for hiking and walking tours a little later. So get comfortable, get yourself a tasty beverage, and truly kick your feet up because we want to share with you about Trek travel and how you can have the active vacation of a lifetime with us. Now, those of you that have traveled with us before know that we start every day with a route talk, so you have an idea of where we're headed. So here's our route for this evening. We're going to start out with telling you about who we are at Trek Travel, then move on to about hiking and walking so you can understand even better about what we do and how we run these trips. We'll climb up to tonight's trip spotlights, which is a brief overview of 5 of our different hiking tours. And then we'll quickly descend to discuss how to book these trips, logistics, and then finally we'll wrap up with some questions and answers where you can ask us anything. All right, so let's get started. We're going to hit the trail. I want to tell you about who we are at Trek Travel. At Trek Travel, we believe in taking you on vacations that move you, both literally and figuratively. Trek Travel curates active vacations all over the world, and we're always scouting out new locations to wow our guests. And it's been almost 25 years of fun. Hard to believe we've been doing it that long. And over those years, we've won a few awards over those couple of decades. We take real pride in being voted one of the top vacation companies by our guests and our partners, including being voted number 5 by Travel and Leisure's World's Best Tour Operators in 2023 and landing on that list again in 2025. Now we want to share a little bit about our hiking and walking tours in general so you can understand what Trek Travel does to set ourselves apart from other tour operators. In this section, we're going to talk about the gear, the guides, the activity, and why you should choose us to take your next active vacation with us. First, let's talk gear. Trek Travel provides you with a tech t-shirt, water bottle, and hiking poles, so you don't have to travel with those on your own. What we'll want you to bring on your own is your own backpack, hiking boots, lots of layers and sun protection, although we always provide some for you as well at our snack stops. And obviously clothing for dinners or other activities that are off the trails. Now on to our magic makers, our guides. You'll be provided with 2 guides per trip in almost every region, no matter how many guests are on that trip. Oftentimes, we'll be accompanied by certified local guides, again, depending on the region. And our guides will make sure that you're prepared for the day. You know what to expect, and you have all the snacks and drinks you need to keep you going through the week. Now, what to expect on your trip. You can expect curated, unique cultural experiences in each region, which is part of what makes hiking and walking so special. You're directly immersed into the land, the feel, and everything that makes each of these trips so special. On a more logistical note, you'll typically have 2 different hiking options per day when possible, so you can tailor your day how you would like it. Now, I'm not going to stay on this slide too long, but here's a look at our activity levels and how we rate the difficulty on our trips. So we go from level 1 to 4, from leisure to avid, and you can see there's an idea of how many hours you'll be hiking, what that distance and elevation is like. So why go on a Trek Travel hiking and walking vacation? We make sure to keep our group sizes small, typically capping them at around 16 guests. You'll get to see 2 different hotels in most regions. Trek Travel has been curating local connections in these regions for decades, so you know you're going to get something that's not the typical tourist experience. We do our best to make sure you spend minimal time in the van shuttling to your hikes. And like on all of our Trek Travel vacations, we let you choose how you want to spend your day. And it's our hospitality that truly sets us apart. Let's talk about what's included. Here's a quick look. So we're going to provide those awesome boutique hotels in that region, your expert guides, daily breakfasts, most lunches and dinners. We always have great snacks and drinks along the way, gratuities for any local staff at our hotels, our restaurants, our cultural experiences. We'll transfer luggage to that second hotel, all of the transportation on the ground, some great trek travel gear to keep, and then we'll provide hiking poles in your water bottle. So that leaves a short list of what's not included. Your airfare to and from your trip, pre and post lodging, some optional activities that you choose to participate in, and then your guide gratuities are not included. And your backpack, we want you to bring your own so you're comfortable with that on the trip. All right, we are almost on to the trip spotlight portion of the event. So before I turn it over to Anna, who's going to give you a great taste of 5 different regions, we want to show you a little snippet about trek travel, hiking, and walking. So we've got a little video for you.
There's a kind of beauty you can only
If you're just seeing my face, click the tab at the
top. A lookout after a quiet climb, a hidden cove at the edge of a map, a village where time moves gently. Trek travel, hiking, and walking tours bring you to the places that stay with you long after you've gone home. Small group trips, thoughtful routes, boutique hotels you'll daydream about later, and guides who know these paths by heart. If you're looking for a deeper way to travel, this is the trail to take. Step into adventure at trektravel.com.
All right, just a quick little taste of some of these trips coming up. So to give you more details about some of our great destinations, I'm turning it over to my co-guide, Anna, to share these special trips with you. Take it away, Anna.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. Excited to be here with you all. And this is actually my first time presenting on hiking and walking tours. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about some of these destinations, a few places that I've also had the pleasure of traveling to myself. So really excited to highlight them. Before we dive into the 5 trip spotlights that we're going to be highlighting tonight, we want to show you a quick list of the 9 hiking and walking tours that Trek Travel offers. So on this slide, you'll see the 9 different trips. And they're all different color coded as well. So the green trips that you'll see will be our level 2 hiking and walking. The yellow, Chile and the Dolomites, are our level 3. And then the one in the middle, our red coded trip, that is our one and only level 4 hiking and walking tour, meaning that that trip has the longest miles that we'll do on the trail, as well as the most elevation gain. And I think that's what really makes a trip more difficult, is having more elevation gain, especially being up at elevation itself. So the 5 trips that we're going to highlight tonight will show up with a little hiking icon just next to them. And these are our French and Italian Alps, our Chilean Dolomites, our level 3s and level 4 trips, as well as our 2 level 2 trips, Portugal and England. So without further ado, let's dive into our first trip of the night, the French and Italian Alps. We're starting things off hot with our hardest trip that we offer. So we'll kick things off on this trip in the town of Chamonix, which is at the base of the majestic Mont Blanc. The terrain out here features absolutely breathtaking views, as you can see from this photo. It also includes plenty of steep climbs and some really long descents. One thing I'll note just early on, and Kate said it earlier as well, is we do include hiking poles in our trips, but if you have your own, we highly recommend bringing those just for added comfort, making sure that they're at the right level. They're going to be especially needed on any long descents, like what you'll see in the French and Italian Alps. Most of the trails out here are really well marked, but you should definitely anticipate some uneven and some rocky sections as well. This is a 3 hotel trip where we start in France, we head up and over the Alps into the country of Italy, and then we return once again on our longest day of the trip back into France. My favorite part of the Alps and also the Dolomites, which I'll highlight here in a little bit, are the refugios, which are the alpine huts that you get to visit along your hikes, and you actually get to enjoy lunch at them made by the hut owners and the people who work there as well. Nothing will make you feel warmer inside than sharing a really simple meal made with love and served to you at the top of a mountain. Let's just say you earned that lunch. Now, this is a level 4 trip, like I mentioned, and the most difficult that we offer. It ranges about 4 to 6 miles and has anywhere between 1,200, around 1,200 feet of elevation gain a day. The exception to that rule being our day 4, which is the hardest day of our trip, where we have 10 miles with 3,000 feet of elevation gain ahead of you. On day 2, we'll take a gondola up to Les Brevons, this is where we'll actually join in on a part of the renowned Tour de Mont Blanc trail. This entire trail is about 105 miles long and it encircles the entire Mont Blanc Massif, crossing through France into Italy and also into Switzerland. Now, we are not doing the full 105 miles. On this day, we'll do about 7 of those miles. And some of these sections are going to be rocky, but you'll be rewarded with magnificent landscapes and views like you see in this photo. This is actually taken from this trail itself. Mont Blanc is the tallest peak in the Alps. It sits just under 16,000 feet. For any of our Canadians or European friends who are joining, that is about 4,800 meters. And that offers stunning snow-capped views all the way around and stands out with its impressive presence that you really have to see in order to feel. On the morning of day 3, you'll get a glimpse of France's largest glacier, where you'll actually even get the chance to step inside the glacier yourself. If you want to know what that's like, you got to join us on this trip in order to see that. Now, after our glacier adventure, we'll cross up and over into the Alps into Italy, and we'll take the highest vertical ascent cable car in the world to enjoy the breathtaking views of Mont Blanc Massif up close and personal. You can marvel at the mountain size and pure beauty from the best seat in the house on the gondola before we lace up our boots for the second hike of the day as we head into our second town and our second hotel of the trip, where you can rest up before taking on the biggest day of the trip the following day. Without spoiling too much more about this magnificent trip, let's move on to trip number 2, Portugal hiking and walking. This adventure begins in the scenic Alentejo region and follows the rugged coastline of the Rota Vicentina, which leads us through the charming towns like Lagos and the dramatic cliffs of the town of Sagres. Along the way, we can enjoy rich local Portuguese cuisine. You get to taste exquisite coastal I'm sorry, I said that wrong. We enjoy rich local Portuguese culture, taste the amazing coastal cuisine that you get to enjoy out there, and then also enjoy the hand-picked hotels that blend comfort with authentic Portuguese charm. Now, this is a level 2 trip. We have about 4 to 9 miles on average per day, with anywhere between 200 to 500 feet of elevation gain. So in comparison to the Alps trip, it's much lower. We'll be hiking a lot along coastal trails and enjoying the scenery of the ocean and these beautiful rugged cliffs like you see in this photo. One of our first hikes will actually take us along the historical Fisherman's Trail. And this scenic pathway traces the breathtaking coastline and what's also known as the Algarve region. It'll invite you to follow in the footsteps of the fishermen who once sought out the best fishing spots along the shores and soak in the unique beauty of the coves and really begin to understand the recent hype that's been curating around the Algarve region in Portugal. Now, this is a 2 hotel trip, and we will spend the first few nights in this area with shuttles to and from our planned routes before we head on down south to our second hotel in the town of Lagos. So day 2 takes us back out to the coast where we hike inland along a loop path for a total of 9 miles this day. We'll hike through rolling farmland, fragrant eucalyptus groves, and some quiet villages as well. We'll actually stop for lunch midday in a small town where we're surrounded by nature, where our special host will actually treat us to a private wine tasting and showcase us the distinctive Alentejo wines of the area and influence that are all influenced by the sea itself. And then we'll share regional dishes together in the Portuguese family tradition. So really feel at home in this host space and get a really unique cultural experience on this day. Now we'll wrap up the hike as we head into one of the smaller riverside villages itself and end with some time for you to walk around and explore the town or just simply relax before we head back to the hotel. This trip is ideal for our level 2 hikers, like I mentioned before, and we'll have optional routes, different optional routes to choose from between each day. So some will be shorter and some will be longer. While our support van can't directly come on the routes like it can with some of our cycling trips, if any of you have joined us on those, it will meet you at key points along the trail and along the hike, depending on the day and the group size. All right, enough about Portugal. Let's jump into our third destination for tonight, which is Chile hiking and walking. We're heading all the way south to experience the wild beauty of Chile's lakes and volcano region. This is where lava trails, hot springs, and vineyards all capture the soul of Chile's untamed southern Andes mountains. Our hikes here are typically around 4 miles with anything from 600 to 1,200 feet of elevation gain. On day three, you do have the option to summit a volcano. So if you do choose to do that, you should be prepared for a 2,000-foot elevation gain on this day. It is absolutely epic. I have personally done it, and it's really, really beautiful. And it also speaks to why this is a level 3 trip when we look at the numbers. All right, we're going to kick things off hot on day one of this trip as you get to explore the striking volcanic terrain of Christmas Crater, which was created by an eruption on Christmas Day in 1988. If you go on this trip, don't worry, your guides are going to share all the local legends and geological insights for you to really bring this place to life. This trip is 7 days long in comparison to a lot of our other 5 to 6 day trips, and it holds for two or has space for two hotels that we split up and explore two different regions of southern Chile itself. On one of the days of this trip, we will actually venture into Verarica National Park, home to the park's namesake and one of Chile's most iconic active volcanoes, which is Mount Verarica. Hike trails shaped by centuries of eruptions. You get to weave past satellite cones and collapsed lava tubes that have really revealed the park's geological intensity. It's a really unique experience if you've never been into lava tubes before, where here you get to descend into the volcano's hidden depths during a guided cave tour that showcased its subterranean formations. I got the chance to do this back in 2020, right before COVID hit, and this was unreal. Our guides were absolutely amazing, and I have been into volcanic tubes and things since then, but I would say this is one of the most unique experiences I've had, especially if you've never done it. It's so cool. Other things I love about this region outside of just the hiking are the really unique monkey puzzle trees that kind of look like massive succulents. You probably don't know what they are just yet, but you will learn if you go on this trip, and then you'll see them everywhere. They're amazing, and they're very easy to spot, even way off in the distance. This area also is known for tons and tons of thermopools that exist all over, and the incredible night skies that may leave you a little bit lost since it will look nothing like our night sky here in the Northern Hemisphere. Definitely a unique experience, and take up any chance you get to go out and go stargazing. Now, I could talk all day about my love for the country of Chile and this region specifically, but we have to keep moving because we have trip number 4 to talk about. Trip number 4 is Dolomites hiking and walking. If the Winter Olympics has inspired you at all this year, hopefully you guys were all watching. Maybe your next hiking adventure will take you to the Italian Dolomites itself. The terrain in this region offers stunning views, just like all of our other spots, and it also has occasional steep cliffs, long descents, and often on very narrow paths at medium to high altitudes. We offer a few different routes on this trip that range from 3 to 6 miles and anywhere between 500 to 1,100 feet of elevation gain, similar to Chile, which is why this trip is also a level 3 trip. Some of our hikes follow well-maintained trails and meadows with gentle inclines, while others will take you over uneven rocky terrain, and we will also see some exposed sections on this hike on this whole week. So for this reason, we definitely recommend that participants are sure-footed and are not prone to vertigo or dizziness for this trip. On day one of the Dolomites hiking trip, we will kick things off with a huge wow as we explore the highest mountain pasture in Europe. This area is set against the stunning backdrop of the majestic Sasolungon. I always get this wrong. I always say this incorrectly. Sasolungon Mountain. This is reachable with a short 5-minute gondola ride to get up to the trailhead where you'll actually start your hike for that day. We will have lunch up there on the plateau, as you can see in this picture here. that is where we have lunch. So it's kind of like what I mentioned before of these alpine huts and refugios. In the Dolomites, they're a little bit more built up in some places where you get to take the gondola up to a full restaurant with a full menu and enjoy a lovely bowl of pasta before or after your hike through the meadows. And then we'll end our day descending back down into the village of Val Gardenia, where we'll spend our very first night on trip. Now, this is a two hotel trip with so much to be seen in between. In the Dolomites, similar to the Alps trip, many of the days will begin with a shuttle that will take you onto a gondola that will take you up into the mountains before you actually start your hike. So some people might say, then when are we actually doing the hiking? Trust me, you'll want to take the gondola up to get the best views and to just start your trail and your hike in the best possible spot. We get right to the good stuff, and don't you worry, you won't be deprived of any miles on this trip. On the morning of day 5, there's no difference on the morning of day 5 as we jump into a cable car once we get to the top of Paso Valzarego, and we will hike from here across a plateau along the military or historic military path and open air museum that's actually carved into the rock. So here you'll get to witness and experience World War I history with fortifications, stairs, and tunnels that are all built into the cliffs themselves. At the top, you'll also enjoy another amazing lunch at an alpine hut that'll blow you away before you head back down to the town of Corvara for your final night social hour and dinner together as a group. All right, all of that brings me to the last trip of the presentation, which is our England hiking and walking tour. This is a 6-day journey through Devon and Cornwall, where you get to think of open moorlands, ancient stone circles, and dramatic Atlantic coastlines. This is a level 2 trip, so it's really great for recreational hikers who are comfortable on their feet for 2 to 4 hours a day. And you'll average about 6 miles daily with around 500 to 48 feet of elevation gain. You'll cross mostly flat to hilly terrain, and you'll enjoy a mix of cliff top paths, moorland trails, beaches, and some quiet woodlands as well. Kind of mixing up the terrain here a little bit. On day 1, after you arrive and enjoy lunch and have met your lovely guides in the village of Chuckford, guests want to walk through the classic Dartmoor landscapes. So here you'll get to see the beautiful classic rolling hills, big open skies. Hopefully it's not super cloudy and quiet wooded sections as well. All of this before arriving to a massive stone circle, which you can see kind of here in the picture in the bottom right corner. It's an ancient and striking place, often with Dartmoor peonies grazing along the open ground nearby. And it's also sets a timeless tone for our entire week ahead. On day 3, your entire scenery of this trip will completely change as we head out to the coast, and we'll enjoy a ferry ride to Cornwall and a walk through a grassy meadows and charming villages of pastel cottages set right along the shoreline. The final days are based in Padstow, where you'll hike the southwest coast path to Stepper Point, where you'll enjoy cliffs dropping into turquoise Atlantic waters below, like you'll see here in this picture. Paired with this walking tour of Plymouth, which includes a stop along the historic Mayflower Steps, the day will actually wrap up with a gin tasting at a local distillery where you get to sample small batch spirits from the Cornish botanicals as well. So very, very Scottish here. And with that, that is the last of our trip highlights. So I know these were all a little short. We had a lot to get through. And so hopefully giving you guys a little snippet of each of these trips will spark some questions about what else to explore and maybe pique some of your interest on joining us on some of these tours. But we would love to hear, maybe add it in the chat if any of these 5 really stuck out to you, and we'd love to hear which one you're considering going to first. But with that, I'm going to send it back on over to Kate.
Anna, thank you so much. It's a quick little dip into those 5 trips, but really enough details to whet our appetite for each of those. Really interesting. Every time one would come up, I'm like, oh, I want to go there. No, I want to go there. So you did a fantastic job. So thank you for that. So let's talk about, you've seen a lot of trips. Now we want to get you booked. And how do you do that? So I want to share some details, and we're going to take a look at our website. There's so much you can dig into there, as well as you can even book yourself if you wanted to do that. So when you hop on our website, if you're looking for helpful details on that trip, you will find some great things there. It'll tell you in logistics, before and after your trip, suggestions on where to stay. There are suggested packing lists. And always, with any of our trips, if you've got questions about logistics, you can always reach out to our trip consultants, and they are amazing with the amount of information they can provide about the areas, the places to stay, the fun things to do, and getting around. Now, since we're talking website, if you look under the resources tab, you will find a link to our events page, and possibly you found out about this event tonight through that site. But if you're interested in more details on, let's say, the Dolomites hiking and walking, or you're maybe considering Tuscany cycling trip, you can see when we're presenting about the event you're interested in, and you can sign up there, and you'll get a reminder email. So lots of great info, and know that there's also a way to get to the events we've done before on our YouTube page. So if you don't see anything coming about riding gravel in England, then you can go to our YouTube page through that events page and find the recording to get all the scoop that you want. Lots of information there. So we have got 4 action steps for you now. The first is to watch for a recap email. It's probably coming out tomorrow. That is where you're going to have a coupon for $400 off your first hiking and walking trip with Trek Travel. Really worth logging in tonight, right? It'll also have a link to the recording of tonight's event so you can share it with your friends that you want to get to go on the trip with you. The next step is to check out our website. As I mentioned previously, it's a wealth of information. You can search for the right trip for you, either by the dates that you're available. You can see what trips are going at that date. You can go by level. If you want to go on a level 2 or a level 4 trip, search by that. So lots of ways to find the perfect trip for you. The next step is to give us a call. Our trip consultants are available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and they're in the Central Time Zone. As I mentioned, they are incredible resources of all kinds of info and getting you booked if you want to do that with a live person rather than online. And last but not least, get excited for your trip. You can go to trektravel.com/packing list to see recommendations of what to pack for your upcoming trip, all kinds of info, and then get out there and get some hikes under your belt, break in those boots, your backpack, and get ready for that awesome trip. We're now at the point where we're at the finish of tonight's route. So I invite you to turn on your camera, turn on your mic, ask us some questions out loud, or know that Anna and I are going to go through the chat box and see if we can answer questions for everybody, things that might benefit all of you. So feel free to do that.
We've actually got a couple questions already. Kate Ken asked if we're booking anything for 2027 or mostly 2026. And I said, we're launching our 2027 trip soon, but I don't know exactly when. Do you have any insight on that? Or you're
I
not
don't
sure
know an
either?
exact date, but typically we're seeing those late spring, early summer getting into that. But they could launch sooner. I know that for sure.
Really excited for you guys to see what we have coming for 2027. Oh, 2026 was good.
Mhm. Lots of great
You ever do
locations.
any Kilimanjaro trips?
We do not have a trip in Africa at this point in time, but I know we're always checking out new locations, so I wouldn't rule it out.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
been, Cheryl?
No, I haven't. But I have friends who've done Trek travel tours and they rave about Trek travel.
Oh, that's great to hear. Nice.
Yeah.
We like to build raving fans. We got a question from Colleen. Colleen, I might need some clarification when you said, is there an agent website, and what you're asking for exactly there? Feel free to turn on your mic if
I,
you
I was just assuming that people on this presentation were travel agents. I assumed that's why I got the email. So that's what I was wondering. I am an agent in Canada, so I just wondered if there was an agent booking site.
I don't
Yes,
think
there
there's
actually
anything
is.
separate. Yes.
Yeah, it'll be separate. I actually also, nice to meet you, Colleen. I'm also a travel agent. And we do have an agent booking site. Um, I can record your email if you want to send me a private message, and I will send that along to our agent team to reach out to you or send it to you. I don't have their email right off the top of my head, but I can get you that information on where to look for that stuff.
Okay,
Awesome.
thanks. I mean, I'm associated with a major like with Trevello in Canada, but I just looked up on our own website and I don't see Trek in there, and I'm a little confused because I don't know if you're the Trek Travel I thought you were like 10 years ago. I don't know if it's a different company. I'm a little confused. So I'll send you a private an email or a
Yeah,
message here.
yeah, please do. Awesome. We'd love to have you. We're getting lots of questions. Kate, what else do we got? How far in advance are reservations made? You want to take that one, Kate?
They can, as long as that trip is open to be booked, you can book it. So if you're looking to book a year out and we've got those dates posted, you can do that. If there's room available on trips that are coming up right away, we can often get you in there also. So I wouldn't rule out any date as long as we've got it posted on our website to book. You can book it as far as that allows for sure.
And even getting some last minute bookings as well. Awesome. And then, John, let me look up real quick trip dates for Chile and get back to you. Uh, Rick, the bike packs or the backpacks, how big, day packs or multi-day? Um, Day packs are perfect for our hiking and walking trips. I would say maybe about like 25 liters max would be my estimate, but just enough to be able to pack some layers, some water, and some snacks, obviously. Very important.
Kristen, am I a guide on any of these trips? Not yet, but girl, I will keep you posted and you're coming with me.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Wow, we're getting lots and lots of questions. What is a typical pack weight and how much is water? I don't know the answer to that question. That's a good one. Do you know, Kate?
I don't. I don't know that. I should have called my husband up here. He loves to know all the metrics on things. Um,
Light enough
with a
to
day
want to
pack,
carry all day.
yeah, but with a day pack, you're not needing to carry a whole lot, and we will be providing water refills and snacks along the way as well. So you don't have to be carrying a whole lot. And Warren, he's got his hand raised. Warren, can you hear us? Have you got a question?
Yeah, thanks, Kate and Anna. I kind of missed the first few minutes. My wife and I have done 6 Trek travel bike camps.
Oh,
So phenomenal experience. We've always raving about our experiences to others, and we've written to the CEO. So is this the walks, the hikes, part of the Trek travel organization led by the same CEO?
it is. Yes, we had
Yeah,
launched hiking and walking about a year ago, gravel a couple of years before that, but bike trips have been our bread and butter since 2002. So
right.
yes, we're just expanding our offerings. And thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us on so many of those.
Yeah, because the timing was pretty good. My wife and I are super active travelers, and we're thinking about South America. So, obviously we're looking like at G Adventures and things like that. When it's a level 3 hike, is that like level 3? So you're leveling the same as for the bike camps?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll go on the website, and I work in the bike industry, so I have contacts within our local contact with Trek Travel as well. So I wanted to jump in this call and learn more about what you guys are offering. So great job. Thanks again.
Thanks, Warren. Appreciate you jumping in.
Good to
Yeah,
see you,
Yeah,
Lauren,
yeah,
Warren, and Linda, right?
yeah. That's right. Anna,
Yeah.
Anna, we've always kind of. Were you one of our ride leaders?
I guided you in California Ride Camp
So
23.
dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
I thought that was you.
Great to see you
Small world.
guys.
Yep.
got a question. Do we ever plan to add Peruvian hikes and Machu Picchu? That's a good question. We just might. We will keep a list going of what everyone's interested in. And as we can add those to our list of trip offerings, we sure will do that. Group size, got a group size on the Chile trip. Anna, do you happen to know that?
I think our group sizes on Chile are around the same as normal. So anywhere between like 12 to 18, I would say is average group size.
Yes. Tamara, you asked about demos like this for bike trips. Yes, yes, yes. Last week I was on and doing trip spotlights on Prague to Vienna trip along with Tuscany. So if you look on that resources tab and events, you can see when we're talking about some additional cycling trips. They're so awesome.
Again,
Avid
tons of really
options.
good questions.
Yeah. Avid options for hiking. We're going to provide different opportunities for you as they are available. So depending on that day, as in if we're taking you up by gondola to the top of a hike and coming down, we may not have another option unless we're adding a loop onto that on that hike. There may be an opportunity that we go to the hotel, and others, if they want to continue on, will take a different route to add more miles or vertical on each of the trips as that's available per day. Joshua asked about what's included about the trips. Does it include the hotels and the plane ride? It does not include your transportation to and from the trip, but it does include your hotels, your breakfast every day, most lunches and dinners, snacks, water, your guides like Anna and myself, and we give you some gear to keep. So lots included, but the airfare is not part of that trip price.
Awesome. And then Craig asked about difficulty level listed on the website. It is listed on the website, and you can actually even filter if you like know what activity level you would be. You can actually filter on our website for activity levels and just only see those trips based in that level as well. A little pro tip for you.
Do most of these hikes have optional side activities? And it could be anything from fishing in Portugal to wine tasting or cooking. But I was intrigued by the Portugal coast and talking about the fishing communities and wondered if that's can you deviate for a couple hours up from the hotel and do something like that?
Yes. Uh, if we can help arrange optional activities for you in the area, we'll provide resources as we can for sure. If they're not included in our trip, then that would be on your own, of course.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm grabbing a link. I'm going to put it in here about the Chile site in our chat box. Here we go. So you can see some good details along with dates that it's offered. What other questions have we got? There's Chile. Let's see. Those of you that, oh, Warren, you got another question.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
I've had two follow-up questions. One was how often would the walks and hikes packages be refreshed? Is it once a year? Kind of like the bike side?
Typically, we're launching at the beginning of the year with the new offerings. Very occasionally, we'll have something that's new offered in the fall, but generally, we're on that 1 year cycle of those are our trips for the year, and then we'll work on adding new and exciting locations for the following year.
Okay. And then another question was because it's understood under Trek Travel, the bikes and the hikes, for those who've done multiple tours, it's that the credit continues to build on both sides from taking packages on the hike side and the riding side.
Yes, you're talking about like your how many trips you've done and
That's right.
Club TP. Yes, yes, they
Yeah,
all roll into one account.
they're part of the loyalty scheme that you have.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's great. Thanks again. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. Eric is asking, are there discounts for doing back-to-back bike hike trips? I don't know that's offered, but it's always worth asking. And that sounds like an amazing idea. I've already been trying to plot my trip of going across Europe and how I'm going to do Prague to Vienna. and then Tuscany and ride across Italy and then maybe hop up into Scandinavia and hit the Norway and Denmark to Sweden, line them all up. We do have some multi-sport trips too, if you haven't seen that. A few of our trips have other sports. We have some kayaking in our San Juan Islands trip. And Anna, did you work on San Juan Islands?
No, I went out and did some filming work out there, but I did the trip, but I didn't actually guide it.
Yeah. And our Arizona trip, when we're offering that, day 3 is a hike and it's beautiful, up on North Scottsdale and into the carefree Arizona area. So
Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful area. So some of our trips do have multi-sport options.
And Erica, I would recommend asking that question to our trip consultants. If you get on the phone with them to chat about trips and see if they can do anything for you.
For sure. But you got a nice kickstart with the $400 coupon that you'll get in the follow-up email. So great idea to have signed up for this event. All right. What other questions have we got coming in? We still have people joining.
I do still have people joining.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions coming in right now. And if you want to come off mute, you're welcome to ask some. But otherwise, please know that you've got a resource in those trip consultants, and you'll be getting that email. So you have some quick ways to reach out and contact them for sure. We want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Ken, for the thumbs up. It's so fun to dream about where your feet, your bike, where you can take your next active vacation. So thank you for dreaming with us tonight, and we can't wait to see you out there on a trail. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Love the hearts. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.